Welcome once again to the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm John. I have the pleasure of sharing a waffle today with two very special guests. Before I introduce them, let's start by introducing my fellow presenters for today's waffle. We've got Ben and Becca. I hope you're both okay. And
Hello.
I know you've both got a nice shiny cruising countdown sorted.
Yes,
we do.
So there's a little bit of a buzz from the Ben and Becca household, I think, as well. So yeah, we'll maybe sort of join that sort of cruising mood as we go through the show as well. So that's great news. I'm delighted for both of you.
Nice to have a countdown. Really is.
Yeah, it's always good to have a countdown.
It's even nicer to have one that's slightly closer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's great. And joining us today, we've got Sara and we've got Stephen, who are more popularly known as Mickey Scousers on Twitter and their YouTube channel, where you can find loads of the exciting things that we want them to talk about on this show. Welcome to both of you. It's absolutely brilliant to get you on. I know we've been on your show before. And yeah, welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Hi guys, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It is. It's good. Yeah, we'll get onto your plans as well as we go through the show, because I think you've got loads of stuff lined up, and yeah, we'll come to that as and when.
First of all, that's a Wednesday show.
Oh, hey, that sounds even that sounds even more exciting. Right, first of all, we're going to go through some of these questions that have become synonymous with the Great British Mickey Waffle and all of the guests that we've had the pleasure of sharing a waffle with. So it's quick fire.
Oh, God.
I always tell people, go with your heart, just share with your thoughts. You don't have to agree with each other. You can have an answer each.
You never will.
That's possibly a good thing. If you want to expand on any points and have a chat about it, that's fine. We've got as much. It's not as quick fire that it just needs one word. If you want to add more to it, you can do so. But like I've said to so many, it's just go with a heart. There's no right or wrong answer.
Well, that depends.
There's one question where there's a right answer.
There's always a wrong answer when your wife sat next to you.
I'll send the neighbours in to split you up when you start fighting. Oh dear! Right, we're ready. Let's go. Question 1: what's your favourite park?
Epcot.
Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Made for each other.
That must make the first day in a park different. You both go to different parks.
No, she always wins. Magic Kingdom Thursday all the time.
It's a tradition. We start off at Magic Kingdom and finish at Magic Kingdom.
And we get stuck in the middle, going around the world.
I love that. Question 2: a ride that you hate.
Small World.
Small World. Yeah. Unanimous.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
Yeah, don't like that one.
No.
Any particular reason?
Well, I always put it down to a question, John. Would I rather have my eyelids pulled out with pliers or sit on a Small World for half an hour? I'd rather have my eyelids pulled out by pliers. Oh, we've been on it once, and it was during the extra magic hours back in 2019. It was the first time we went on it, and the last time we'll ever go on it. It's just that tune, when you go through it, it's one of the most. I don't know. I'm not going to be kind. I'm going to be kind. It sticks in your head, and you got the tune in your head going. It's even coming into my head now.
Yeah,
it's an earworm.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you might do it on like your first day of your trip.
You still be singing it on the 14th, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they've said it before. I'm going to add this into the mix as well. Could you imagine breaking down on the ride, as happened to Ben and Becca?
Oh, yeah, we've had
now
45 minutes.
That is not. I reckon, Stephen. That's probably your worst case scenario from that, isn't it?
I want to know what's even worse.
Yeah. If I had that as a dream, John, I'd wake up in a hot sweat.
What's even worse is Ben's got a fear of puppets.
Oh wow.
and goals.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't
I'm
like
broken
them.
down at that.
Yeah.
Goodness. Right, let's move on. Next question. Go on, Becca.
Question 3. Most overrated snack.
They're not overrated. None of them are overrated. But that's a tough one, that.
Yeah,
Because I like them all.
I think the churros.
The churros, yeah,
Or
that's probably
the
going to.
pretzel.
Well, I've never tried the pretzel because I'm not
Yeah.
into pretzels, but yeah, I've tried
Yeah.
the churros. But then again, they're very highly rated, the
That's it,
pretzels,
yeah.
aren't they? Yeah. So I'll go with the churros or the pretzels.
Don't think we've had that answer yet.
I think we might
it's
have had a
good choice, that.
pretzel, possibly, but everyone seems
New
to go for
answers.
the was it the Mickey ice cream bar?
Funnel cakes we've had a couple of times
Yeah.
as well.
Turkey leg.
Velvet.
Oh, turkey leg.
Yeah.
Funnel
I
cakes
can-
and
I
Mickey. What's wrong with the Mickey Mouse ice cream? It's great the way it melts in about 3 seconds flat.
Then falls off the stick.
As soon as you open out the packet, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that either, Stephen, because actually I eat ice cream that quickly that it doesn't get a chance to melt either, irrespective of like 100-degree heat in the middle of an August in Florida.
Yeah.
Hasn't got a chance.
I think what you need to do, you need to open it and just hold it up high. And then it'll melt everyone and just like...
Yeah, but try and explain that to your 6-year-old daughter who wants one but takes about a day and an age to eat an ice cream.
That's exactly the problem. Isn't
Go
it?
on. If I
Ends up wearing the
the
whole premium bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Good job. No, that doesn't bear thinking. That's like a trip to the shop to reclothe the child, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
definitely.
Been there, done it. Yeah. All right, next question. What's your favourite transportation mode at Walt Disney World?
Oh, people mover, but that's not transportation.
It is. It is. It counts. It counts.
Yeah. Okay, people mover for me.
Mine's the resort boats.
The resort boats.
Like going from Polly to Magic Kingdom. It's lovely.
It's like
I like to travel.
peaceful and relaxing.
Yeah, just very chilled out and.
If you're going to look at the boats like that, the one I like is the one that goes from Wilderness Lodge over to Magic Kingdom. That's a beautiful ride. That. That's nice. That.
Yeah. I'd also pick up on the people mover as well, because was it last month we saw that the people mover spring back into action.
Yeah.
It wasn't it just, and it was just like one of those days where I think every vlogger in the world,
Magic Kingdom?
every US vlogger in the world, was in Magic Kingdom. But the amount of people who were watching and commenting on it, it was incredible, and it was one of those moments that you really wish that you were totally in the park and actually being able to participate in the reopening of it.
Yeah,
definitely. If only for those sneaky peeks at where the building work for Tron had got up to.
Yeah, definitely.
That was one of the best things for me.
I think another one I just have to sneak in as well would have to be, if you haven't done it, you need to do it, is the hiring of the boats at the Polly. You know, the boats you can hire out. Or the Wilderness Lodge. That was we've done the big one, didn't we?
Yeah. And for Ben and Becca, you get a DVC discount on that.
Yeah.
We do like a discount.
We do like a discount.
We like a discount too. That's why we got it.
Question 5. What's your favourite table service restaurant?
Sonar.
Tables.
Sonar or Ohana's?
I'm going to go Sonar. Me.
Yeah.
You know, I do love Sonar, but my next one's Beer Garden in Epcot. I love that one as well.
No.
You're not too fussed on it, are you? I don't know. There's just something about eating your dinner with fully grown men in leather shoes.
Good bit of entertainment.
I don't know. It's just great.
Do you know, Stephen, of all the answers we've had to that question, that's the first time anyone's ever mentioned that.
I think that's my favourite answer so far.
It really is.
Oh God.
And it's a brilliant reason to back it up as well.
It certainly is. I love
The
that.
bee is good as well, Ben. The bee is good as well. Yeah, the bee is good.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, I do like Sonara. Do like Sonara as well. Sonara, more than anything, I think with Sonara, I think for everybody, I think we've mentioned this on our shows quite a lot, is the fact that it's the one place that when you're fed up with sort of fried or just the usual American serving of burgers and chicken nuggets for Sammy and things like that, you can
Sammy
go.
doesn't get ordered chicken nuggets.
No, she doesn't. She wouldn't even go anywhere near Sonara. But it's the actual to actually be able to order something that's got so much taste and so much flavour, and it is consistent. It's consistently amazing. And that's the only way I look at it. It's a beautiful place to eat.
Gorgeous,
and the food's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digress again.
It's them bagpipes again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, is that thought I've actually taken myself? My mind is mentally in Orlando.
Yeah. I think we're there now because
I've gone from the people mover to people mover to now. Go on, Becca. Go on, hit him with the
Let's see
next.
where else we can get you.
Hit him with the next one.
A resort you haven't stayed at but want to more than anything else in the world.
Bay Lake Tower with the park view.
Very nice choice.
Very good choice. If you get round to it, try it with the lake view as well, because that's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right,
It is. It's so peaceful.
And you get to see the fireworks when they start up again from
Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. We stayed in Boulder Ridge, which is just over the lake from Bay Lake Tower, isn't it? And we go out the sides of point and you can look right or left. You could see stuff.
Yeah. See, I think we've been quite spoiled with our first couple of stays. Like we've done Polly, we've done AKL, and we've done Boulder Ridge, which obviously covers. So I think for me, the next one will be Riviera. I think that looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
It does, it just takes up a lot of your points.
It's for point wise, it takes up a lot. For us, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay, question 7. Favorite car park?
Hey,
Oh,
favorite car park. Who likes a car park? I always like a car.
you've always got to press the button for it to set the alarm off.
That's it. When you go to hire the car, you got the button that sets the alarm off for when it's up.
If you're ever there and you hear an alarm going off, that does set it
You're walking up. Here's Stephen, look, he's going to get his car.
My kids are just about the busted to just go, "It's you, Dad, that's you." At the end of the day, because what I do is I go to the tried and test. I've got a tried and tested method. I'll take a picture, knowing which row we're parked in.
You do that. Yeah.
I know that. So we get there, we walk along. So you get all these people who've come out of the park after the fireworks or whatever, and they're all pressing the alarms, that alarm on the car like you are. So I'll start on mine as well. And the kids think it's dead funny because that means that people are walking towards our cars. If I was ever you, Stephen, I do apologise.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I think you'll pinch that one off on you. That's brilliant.
When we hire a car this year, we're going to have to give that a
try
go.
that.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's really, really good fun because nobody knows that you're doing it. Nobody has got a clue.
No.
And
everyone after listening.
Everyone's just looking for their car because and usually the people who didn't take the photo of the road or made a note of the road that they parked in, even though you're told on the tram to make a note of that you've actually got on in Unicorn 27 or whatever it is. Not that I ever get the tram in Animal Kingdom, because I always walk. Anyway, you haven't wrangled out the question yet. What is your favorite car park at Walt Disney World?
I've never really thought, I like this car park. Oh, this is a good one. No, I'm going to pick one on the spot. I'd probably say Hollywood Studios.
I actually
For absolutely no reason whatsoever.
It's the first one that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably be. I'd have to say like Magic Kingdom because that means I'm there.
Yeah. Well, no,
Like-
we don't use the
Oh, we
Magic
don't, do
Kingdom
we?
car park,
We
no,
don't.
because that means we've got to use the hustle and bustle of the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
We use the bus so we can get on the other side of the lake.
Mhm.
Okay. Handy hint and tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
good man for that one.
There you go. No, very well answered. This is the most edited question out of all of the ones that we ever ask anyone on this. Which is why we don't. Which is why we don't do it live.
Oh my God.
Purely from the fact that when we first answered it, Sammy went down the completely wrong route
Yeah.
about car parks. It's great because if we speak to people in America, they don't know what a car park is.
Because it's parking lot.
It's a
Oh,
parking
yeah.
lot.
So
It is.
even when we spoke to Lou was buying time from us, wasn't he? And he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
It's
Google
like, I'm just going to Google it.
Oh,
So he just adds to the editing, really, and that's the
Actually, it gives Ben something. It gives you something to
It's
do.
really tough to do, yeah.
because he doesn't have anything to do, does he? Much. Bloody hell. There you go. Yeah, thank you for that. There we go. Let's move on.
Question 8. Typhoon, blizzard, or volcano bay?
Never been to any.
never done any.
Kids have always been too young. But on watching vlogs, I've got to say Volcano Bay is the
Bay.
one I'm really wanting to try out.
It does look like a really good water park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the one with summer plummeting? Which is the one with that? Is that Blizzard Beach, is it?
I think it is.
There's a beach.
See, that's the one I'd like to try, just to go on that slide.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. But it is,
So if you've got a bad back, it doesn't have to sort your back out. Really good. It's that, after days and days of walking through the parks, and you're maybe feeling just that little sort of lower spine bit. Get on there, sorted.
Excellent. That's all I need to do, John. Next time, go on
a second time, and it's like you'll need a chiropractor. Your spine will be through the top of your head. Right, go on. It's
Galaxy's Edge or Diagon Alley?
See, Galaxy's Edge opened just after we was last there in 2019. Diagon Alley, been to it, love it. Absolutely amazing place. But because I'm a Star Wars fan, I reckon when I go to Galaxy's Edge, that's going to win. That one.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah. I think for me, Star Wars would push it.
Yeah.
I think that would edge it a bit more for me as well.
Yeah. Not a good answer, that. Early morning or late night park visit?
Are we at the start of the holiday or at the end? Because at the start of the holiday, it's always early morning.
Yeah.
You're up at 3 o'clock in the morning anyway. You've got your donuts by 4:30. You've got your coffee and you're ready to go. And the parks aren't open yet, so you can get there straight away. So I like an early morning to start, and I like the late ones towards the end.
Yeah.
So enjoying the fireworks and stuff like that.
I think this holiday we'll be able to holiday different because with Sienna only being a baby, we didn't really like to keep it out like late. So we always done the early. Yeah. Whereas obviously with she's with her being much older, this time it's sort of like you don't feel like you have to rush back to the resort to let them have like a structured bedtime kind of thing. So I think we'll enjoy the nighttime because there's so many rides we want to do that look amazing of a night.
Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah, Slinky Dog being the main
It's
one.
brilliant at night. I preferred it at night during the day.
That's what like a couple of people who said that a lot of rides they preferred in the night.
Yeah. And there's a big Thunder Mountain is so
favorite.
much better in the dark.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another ride.
Especially when you're right at the back as well.
Yeah, because on that you can have a good view of can you not just see the top of the castle, can't you, at one point?
Yeah.
The night it'll look amazing.
You can get on there when the fireworks are going off as well. It's really pretty.
I was going to say that, Becca, because actually you're a lot closer to the launch site of a lot of the fireworks. So you are. If you've got a chance, take your time in the queue if there is a queue, because some of the pictures from the fireworks in the queue there are brilliant.
Yeah.
Just
see, that's one thing.
Having a look at.
that's one thing with having young kids. But like your kids are going to be a bit older this time, so be able to take advantage of all the crowds waiting for the fireworks, watching the fireworks.
Yeah.
We're just on a night, just a couple of nights go and get the rides that are normally got a really long queue, like your Splash Mountain, your Thunder Mountain, and the likes, and then just taking advantage of that overnight as well.
I think another one overnight is it the Astral Orbiter?
Oh yeah.
I think overnight that will just be amazing to go up on that
I never
overnight.
thought of that one.
No, I've never thought of that one, mostly because the idea of growing up that high gives me heart palpitations.
I've got to say, and I think this is possibly where you guys are at, is as your children get that little bit older, each trip seems to change.
Oh, definitely.
And it's amazing because you're so thoughtful of them when they're so young that you're doing, and we were very, I'll put it out there now, we actually were very careful when we were there when the kids were younger. We did do sort of the early mornings because the kids were awake, and we did return to villas early. And it's only as they've got older that you start sneaking the early mornings.
Yeah.
Then the whole days, then the extra magic hours. And you think, oh, we'll see how they feel in the morning and stuff like that. But you do it, and even as they get older, you still have to accept that possibly the following morning, they're not at the best, and you just basically ditch what you'd planned for the following day or whatever. But it does change, and it's such a nice way of watching your kids grow up and seeing how that park day does change.
Yeah. Well, we're noticing it this time, John, because our Alison, who's the eldest, he's not one for like the thrill rides. But our youngest son, Lennon, he's into the thrill rides. So he takes after me. And he's now big enough to go on all the thrill rides. So he's like, oh, I want to go on this one, Dad. I want to go on this one, Dad. I want to go on this one.
He's wanting to go on Hulk and everything, isn't he?
He wants to go on Hulk. So we're having to buy the tickets for them parks as well, aren't we, this time as well?
I think it's one of them heartbreaking ones, isn't it? When your child's at a certain height, and we used to have a measuring thing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just based upon, look, son, this month you're about half an inch. We might make it by the time we're going in August. Otherwise, I'll buy you one of them trainers with the big massive heel on them. Just so you look that bit bigger when you're going against the measuring.
I'll tell you what trick we use, John. We can't get Lennon to eat his greens. Sprouts in particular. So we went, you're too short. If you eat all your sprouts this year and your broccoli, you'll get big enough. Will I? Like, whoa.
There you go. Sorry, there you go. That's, parenting tips on the Great British Mickey Waffle. It's added extras. It's all that.
I can't remember who it was, but I was watching. I think it was Graham Norton, and I think it was Chris Hemsworth had admitted that he took his niece to Disneyland and on Tower of Terror.
It was Guardian.
What was it? Mission Breakout, and couldn't get on the ride. So put Snickers in her shoes to raise her up slightly and took her on the ride.
And then wished she'd never done it because she kept trying to fly out the seat.
Yep. Who would have thought Snickers in your shoes just to make you a little bit taller?
I didn't even know they sold those in America.
I've got to admit, Snickers is not the first thing that sort of comes to mind to put inside shoes.
No.
Thinking of the fact that you might want to wear them again tomorrow, and also thinking about the fact that you're going to leave behind,
Yeah. Well, would they not melt? They'd melt, wouldn't they? Melt them. Yeah.
I'm sure they were wrapped.
Yeah, but I'm hoping they're frozen. Could have been a freezer the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm with John. It's definitely not Snickers, is what I'd think of. I was more aligned with what John's saying. Bigger heels. Don't get your mum's stilettos on. You'll be fine.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, what are we on now? Where are we? Question 11. Keep the magic or backstage detail?
Oh, keep the magic.
Keep the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
as much as I'd love to do the whole behind the scenes just to be nosy,
I'm like, I don't know whether it'd ruin the magic for me. Yeah. I don't know whether it's one of them ones that you go, yeah, I want really intrigued and I want to see what it is, but is it going to ruin the magic for me? Are they going to show me too much where I now know how you do that?
Yeah, although we loved it, I think Disney Plus had the Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg with the Christmas decor from Halloween.
I mean, that was amazing watching that.
Like to be in the parks when they're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Question 12. Favorite other podcast or vlogger about Disney?
Oh, well, you guys are on the top.
Obviously.
That's the right.
Thank you very much. First person to give us the right answer first time.
Yeah. Other favourite vlogger is probably going to be someone like really informative, like PC Dev or Tim Tracker, someone like that. Because I'll tell you who else is good as well. The guy with the hat, Mr. Morrow, Paging Mr. Morrow. Like watching him, he has a fun way of doing it, and he's very informative. Anyone who's informative, I just like watching them because I want to know what they know about the parks. They go there all the time and learn off them, you know, the little tricks and the little places to go to that you might not know about.
Yeah. See, I think for me, it like I tend to like obviously love all them ones as well, but like the Despicable 3. And Napoli Ever After, they've obviously got young kids, and I think it's just, you know, kids aren't perfect 24/7, so I think it's just that they show the real side of the vlog, and I think, you know, when the kids maybe getting a little bit fed up, and you think, because when you're doing it yourself, you just think, oh my god, is it only our kids that are acting up, or
let's go do this, yeah.
So them two are quite good as well.
I have to have a watch of those two. I've not heard
of them
before.
Yeah,
I think it's really good, you know, and I think this is the nice thing here. You know, when you get to hear what other people actually are enjoying, and it's maybe people you've not sort of dipped into their streams and stuff like that. I really like that. It's good. I'm going to ask you the next question, and I think I already know what the answer is, but hey, I'll ask it anyway. On-site or off-site?
On-site.
On-site.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
I just love the way you can go to the park. You know, I'm done for after club hours. Go back to the pool for a couple hours and then pop back in the park if you wanted to, because it's just so easy.
I think the one thing that sort of it was quite a surreal moment. We were doing a split stay, so we came from Polly to Boulder. We came from Polly to Boulder Ridge, and so we parked the car in the car park. We literally walked out to come up to into the reception, and there was a guy standing outside, and Harrison Lennon walked within front of us. We were behind him, and he went, "Oh, Harrison and Lennon," and we were just like,
"Who's he?
Who's this fella?
Who's he?"
And it was just like as if, obviously he wasn't, but it was as if like he was outside waiting just for us only.
Yeah,
like sort of walked us in. It was, and we were just like, "How does he know?" Like it was just such a, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
The attention to detail.
It is.
We have learned of late that the guy at the gatehouse radio through that you're coming home. He's not actually sat there all day waiting for you to come. No, he just gets told.
Yeah.
But you see, it's stuff like that. It ruins the magic. That's not because of no you.
It blows you away, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was just
absolutely blows you away.
The kids had obviously just like a couple of steps in front and we were behind, and it was just like, oh, Harrison and Lennon, and we sort of like looked at each other.
You think, what's his game?
How did you know this? Yeah.
It is.
If you go to Wilderness Lodge, you'll see him. He's got glasses. He wears glasses.
Little tiny fella,
small fella, yeah. He's brilliant, and I've seen him when we were there doing it to other families as well. He just goes that extra mile of doing stuff. Yeah. I don't know whether it's Disney telling him to do it or he's just thinking, you know what, I'm going to add this little bit of magic into someone's day, and I just think it's brilliant.
That's brilliant.
I love that. Yeah, I love that, and I think it's what sets it is that Disney magic, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
It's something that sets Disney apart from other places. It's just something that why we always go back.
Yeah.
we've got a famous final question. So if you've ever listened to any of our shows before, you may have heard this one. But Finding Nemo the musical or Festival of the Lion King?
Oh,
Finding Nemo.
this is. Oh,
Sorry, Finding Nemo all day long. I don't get me wrong. The Lion King's a great show, but sorry, the Finding Nemo is brilliant.
John, how much did you pay Stephen to say that?
I don't think we've ever had the discussion either. I think that's the nicest thing about it as well.
Yeah. See, Finding Nemo for me again goes back to a memory, isn't it? Because you saw love Lion King, but I think it has got to be Nemo for us. It's something we do every trip.
Yeah.
Oh, we're outnumbered today.
Yeah. We're the opposite. We're Lion King.
Doesn't happen very often, does it, John?
Doesn't happen very often. No, I must admit. No, I'm with you guys on that, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's
just a magical show. It's just great. It's just so immersive.
That's it. But I think as well, because I mean, Lion King may be the same, but I think you recognise the people that are in.
Yeah.
You sort of like become, there's, as if you know them.
Yeah, you recognise the actors because the same actors all the time who do it. It's just one of them. I'll be honest with you, if it was a choice between going to see the last ever Festival of the Lion King and the last ever Finding Nemo, I'd be down at Finding Nemo, but I'd probably be as big as a burly bloke I am. I probably need a big box of Kleenex with me as well. Just one show that is good. I mean, we put out on our channel a video that we filmed all the way through it. It'll be copyrighted to death, but don't care. It just needs to be shared. It's just a great show. And I put it out at the time they were all getting furloughed. They were all furloughed and stuff. So it was just a case of, is this show going to come back? I don't think it's come back yet. I think the Lion King come back.
The Lion King is starting.
The Lion King starting.
Yeah, Lion King's be this month.
Yeah. Which is brilliant.
Which is good news because they should start bringing that through and start bringing other ones.
Yeah, I think Lion King's come back in like a reduced sort of certain things with social distancing that they're doing. But I think it's just nice to see something of a show come back.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, gives you hope for everything else.
Yeah,
it does.
Just wondering whether, because of the Lion King theatre, how much sort of space that might be slightly bigger than the Finding Nemo of thing. It's probably easy to social distance.
I think possibly even the show itself is maybe
the props and actors and things, costumes.
It's really strange because I've tried to keep in touch with a couple of people on Instagram where I'm not prolific on any form of social media, but I've got to say I take my hat off to Katie Wetzel because she is Dory and my very favourite Dory, and she's been in touch with me ever since they were laid off and the show closed. I'd love to get her on our show. She knows that I'd love to get her on our show. It's not happening anytime soon because those guys they've not got a job and they're currently seeking employment in other parts of the entertainment world, and that breaks my heart. Yeah, it really does. And I find it quite. Every time we ask people this question, I'm finding it more and more difficult to actually comprehend. What I've as much as I love the Nemo show, it's still dark. And as much as the longer it remains dark, I still feel that we may never see it come back again, and that really would break my heart.
Well, if the actors go somewhere else, John, it's not going to be the same show because like you say, you associate, them by name, but we go, oh yeah, there's the guy who plays Marlon, there's the guy who plays, Finding, or the girl who plays Finding Nemo, and the girl who does Dory as well. It's just. I'd like to see that they come back. I think we were talking on the chats in one of the American channels, and there's a guy, James Ryan. He was saying that they're on a certain contract where if it comes back, they're entitled to come back, and hopefully they bring it back sooner rather than later. Yeah. With them talking, if Florida they're about to talk about relaxing the mask rule, are we starting to get to the point of where we can start to get the shows back?
And the social distancing.
And the social distancing as well. Is that what they're talking
From
about as well?
Yeah, 6 feet to 3 feet. So it's
I might be able to get some more of the shows back.
Hopefully.
Well, if you got 3 feet, I know Fart and Nemo, they were pretty close to each other, but 3 feet is manageable with that show.
I think it is, and I think as well, and I think that for all of us is something that for upcoming trips is, we all want to see what we've become accustomed to in some respects. We want to see the actual magic of all of the shows, and if they want to bring back all the shows as they were, yes, please. I'll certainly say that for now. But if they want to bring back different, they maybe want to do something differently, then we all have to accept that things do move on. But also it would then allow the thought towards parades and fireworks being reintroduced as well. And I
especially a nighttime one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what's needed at Magic Kingdom.
We can but hope. Anyway, can I say, Stephen and Sarah, what a fantastic Carousel of Questions that was. And I don't know. I just think the more and more people we've spoken to with this, the more diverse the range of answers, and actually the more I think as a waffler, I'd love to go back and actually redo mine, because things change.
I can't remember what my original answers were.
No, and I think that could be,
I don't think I had a favourite car park.
It's hard to have a favourite car park when you don't drive.
Yeah,
I think I did, and I think it was the fact that any car park I don't have to pay to park in.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that they're all free, and the other one I was going to answer was the resort car park, because I can leave it there and go for a drink at the parks.
Yeah, that's a good call. That was a good call. Anyway, I'm going to move us on, because as we mentioned earlier, you've got a great YouTube channel, and we get a chance of dipping into that. Tell our listeners and our viewers a bit about your own Disney history. Where did it start for the two of you?
2013 was our first visit. Now we were actually the two boys were young. Lennon was 2 at the time. Addison was 4 going on 5, or he just turned 5.
4 he was.
He's 4, yeah. He just they just turned 5.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, 2013. He was born in 2008.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he just turned 5. It's only me who gets the ages. Yeah, so he just turned 2 and 5, and we were looking right. And you when you've never been before, you have that notion, because your parents told you we can't take it because it just costs too much. You think, it's just expensive holiday, and it's going to be once in a lifetime. I'm going to spend all this money, and what if we don't like it? What if we don't? What if the kids don't like it? What spends all that money for something that we're not going to enjoy? So we actually started looking into like DLP, Disneyland Paris, and we'd already got a price from some Thompson's for Disney World, and it was something like $2.5 grand, $3 was it, to stay in iDrive for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that was obviously without the tickets. You had your park tickets to go on top of that, and then we looked at the price of doing like 4 nights at Disneyland Paris. It was coming in close to it.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
And we're going, well, if I'm going to not like it, I want to not like it for 2 weeks and give it a chance to. We're doing that across the world for the same amount of money. Doing that typical Scouse thing, John.
I think it is.
I can get this. We're going there. So we ended up going, and I'll be honest with you, we just had the time of our lives there. The kids couldn't cope with the heat, so they were a bit crabby at times. But that was the only downside.
I think we underestimated as well, though. We did underestimate, because it was our first time.
Oh, yeah.
And how young the kids were. We got every ticket to every, you know what I mean?
Because you're doing a once in a lifetime.
As we thought, yeah.
And you started talking on the forum, the dip.
Exactly, the dip, yeah.
Yeah. And you were telling people saying, you're going for your once in a lifetime holiday. Yeah, we're going on our 10th this year. And that sort of stuff. We're going, the people really keep going back. So we got every ticket. So we got when you go to the ticket attraction ticket direct or something like that. It's the ultimate ticket, so you get everything in one. There wasn't a day we didn't do a park.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a day we didn't do a park for less than 12 hours. Because we were staying on I Drive. Because we were staying on I Drive, and it was we'd done it the wrong way in the first one.
Now we know we did.
We did. But the kids were battered with it, and they get to the bed and they were flaking out. There was nights where we wouldn't even be going for a night for a meal out on I Drive. I'd be going across the road to Checkers and getting some, $1 hot dogs and the fries and just eating there on the bed with the Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. So we said, brilliant, and we were tired. But it was Stanford we flew into and flew off of. And we sat there in Stanford. I don't think I've been as depressed in my Stanford. That's a uni, isn't it? Stanford.
I was like, where?
Doing that Scouse Dad thing, John, where we just get things muddled up.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, sat there. I don't think we've ever been as depressed in our lives, have we?
No.
We actually sat there in the airport going, right.
It was actually the magical the transfer coming back, traveling from the resort back to the airport. We actually booked. Yeah. Looking to book, yeah.
And then we did
it was.
It is that. How many? I want anyone listening. Right, I'm not going to be able to see you if you're listening and watching to this. Put your hand up if you've been as guilty as that, as being on the journey back to the airport. Because I know we've done it. We've done it. You guys have done it. Yeah. And I bet you, without crashing your car, obviously, put your hand up and admit to yourself, you've done that too. It is crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. But I really feel for you, because I actually think that's what your first trip becomes, that blur of just stuff. everything that you've always wanted to ever do at Walt Disney World, because you think you're never going to go back again.
Yeah. So on the second trip, we went with the 2 sets of parents, didn't we? And we said, right, we're not doing any long days. We're going to have pool days, and thought that'll be a lesson that we've learned, and thought that was the only lesson we had to learn. But on that trip, we were on I Drive as well, and it's right. We're not getting the number 50 bus. It takes an hour to get to Disney. It takes an hour to get back. So we got hold of someone who's got a card over there. Got a card off him, and he'd ring him up when we want to lift there, lift back. And then in 2016 is when we bought our DVC. Is when we stayed in AKL.
That's when we got hook, line, and sinkers.
Oh yeah, that's when we just fell.
And the rest, they say, is history.
Most definitely, yeah.
And that was it. Then stayed on site and going, I can't go back to I Drive. I can't stay in a moderate hotel either. And that's when they said, it cost us for a point. Cost us for so many points. And you're going to stay in better rooms than you're staying in now? Sign me. Just tell me where I've got to sign. And we went, and that was it, done. And that was it. Like you say, John, the rest is history. It really is. But then they didn't get to go back then till 2019, because we were getting married just after that, weren't we?
Yeah.
And the demands my wife has, it cost me 20 grand for that date. So it was like, well, we can't afford to go this year or that year. We went 2019. And that was our first visit back as DVC owners. And wow, what a difference again. Because it's like, welcome home. And you're like, oh, yeah, cheers.
Yeah, they fall over.
You do, don't they?
But you still get, you guys obviously have probably had the comments numerous occasions. You're going back to Disney again? Like,
yeah. My family have stopped asking.
Yeah.
It stopped being, where are you going on holiday? And it started being, when are you going back?
When are you going back?
Yeah. Yeah. And our next visit is September this year. Hopefully. With a bit of luck.
Oh, brilliant.
Booked in for another split stay, aren't we? AKL again.
Good choice. Love AKL.
It was
Kidani.
two beds.
Kidani this time.
A 2 beds in AKL, and then a 2 bed in LP West.
Yeah. Staying in Kidani, John, where you can get bread service delivered to your door from the.
Kidani's lovely.
So bread service to your door. I can feel
the bottle of wine.
I can feel my checkbook coming out of the drawer. I go and sign up for DVC only for that. It's just like. And that, do you know something? That is such a it's such an impassioned way in which I think all of us have been snared, for want of a better word. You know, it gets you, and even if it is that sort of that manic first trip, the minute, an hour you get home, you're just desperate to go on the next one. Yeah, because you've left so much behind, and I think that's one of the things. I think as a podcast, I think what we've been on a bit of an exploration, particularly during lockdown, and a lot of the guests that we've chatted with. And I think one of the things that I think a lot of us have learned is the fact that the next time we all go, we're all going to go that little bit slower.
Yeah,
and we're going to just try and build in time where we're just going to soak it up. Yeah, doing nothing within the parks and just admiring what is around us, because I for one was exactly like you guys. It was just like you go and you just max it out and see what happens. Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to going and just grabbing the coffee and just sitting on Main Street and just people watching and just taking it all in.
Well, 2019 trip, we were there for 3 weeks, so we were able to just. It's probably one of the most relaxing ones we've done, because we just had days where we just literally sat either at Geyser Point or we'd sit on Main Street and, as you say, just taking it all in. Yeah. And you just have them days where there was just no rush. You just felt like you were in the Disney bubble, but you were not in the Disney bubble as well, if that makes sense. You sort of were away from all the hustle and bustle, but you were still in that magic.
You're sort of not rushing from get your fast pass to Splash to Big Thunder. You just sort of just taking it all in, taking it just slightly slower pace and seeing what we always do a resort hopping sort of day during the trip, just so we can go around and just spend some time around the Grand Floridian.
Just have a bit of a chill and relax.
Yeah, that's something else, Ben, that people don't realise you can do. And that's another great day. Just going around a different resort and seeing what they've got to offer is brilliant.
The only downside is when you then buy into DVC because you've gone into Wilderness Lodge and gone, oh, what's this Disney Vacation Club? Let's find out a little bit more.
And I'll say something, Ben, and we do plan to trip to go back on our trips. And this is what the DVC guy, Tony, what's his second? Tony Taffy. He turned around and he said, Disney's going to get your money anyway. So you might as well give it now.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's right.
That was a sale pitch, and I went, "Yeah, you're right, mate." So I'm not going to deny that. Yeah.
Yeah, we went on the tour in 2014, and it took us about 2 years to sort of bite the bullet and do it. But it was by that point we'd already booked 2 Disney trips in the middle of that. So it was like we'd paid for a lot of it anyway. So it was like, do you know what? Actually, this makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense, because even if you compare the price of I know we're going off a little bit piece there, but even if you compare your price of your DVC against what you can rent those points for off the DVC market, you're still going to get your money back in about 10 to 12 trips anyway.
Yeah.
Ours was less, wasn't it? Because I think we priced up the holiday we just had.
Yeah.
And I think obviously on Disney prices it was coming in at 21,000 for the trip we'd just done. It was like, well, we would never pay that. It's like out of pocket. So for us, obviously as a family of 5, it was just a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer for us.
Our first full DVC trip was 7 nights at Boardwalk, 5 nights at Wilderness Lodge, then 5 nights at Polly.
Amazing.
And it was like, I think I worked out was about 16,000.
That's
Yeah.
That was our first trip.
Yeah,
I bet it was. You get your money back.
I think ours was 5 nights at Polly and then 16 at Boulder Ridge.
Yeah. See, if you're from the UK, the amount of time you go and you go to spend your trips over there, if you're going to go every year or even every other year, the DVC's a no-brainer. It really is.
See, John's contemplating now. I see John's face.
I can see like the teacher part of him going, okay, I'm just
the mathematician part going.
I went through that. We did this as a big feature on one of our podcasts, and I've really sort of up until 2019. I know I said before we've done too many trips in a row, and it was too late. And if we should, and probably from about 2008 when we first took the kids. We should have dipped in at that particular point and didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it because we've done some amazing things.
Yeah.
But you think you probably could have had some really good value out of that by now.
It's not too late, John.
I know
You've got
it's not.
plenty of years left, didn't you? And the boys are
and
getting older, so they can have their own hotel rooms.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
points back then as well.
Oh,
and I'll put it into perspective. We bought our Poly points back in 2016 for $150 a point. About 2 or 3 months or 4 months just before they put it to $175 a point. They're now selling at over $185 a point on the resale market, or $180 is it, something like that.
What Disney the 200 not now? Aren't
no, that Disney on the resale the Poly
Yeah.
points. We could trade our points in and get our money back
and
more because they're worth more than what we paid for them.
But I wish we did ours 6 months
before. Them too much.
If we did ours 6 months before, we did ours just after Brexit. So obviously the exchange rate changed, but we got Saratoga Springs at $84 a point.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And
goodness,
direct through Disney, if you want to buy them, I think they're $165. I think now, and on resale they're looking about $110 to $130 somewhere around.
The one lesson I would have done better for us is the minimum at the time was 75 points. 75 points was the minimum, and we bought 200. We should have really bought the 75 points, and then bought the rest on resale. Because even if you don't have the cash for resale, I didn't know this at the time, because even if you don't have the cash for resale, there is a company over there that actually gives you a roughly around about the same interest rate as what Disney give you.
Yeah.
And they will just give you and buy it for you, and you can get the rest of your points for it. And that's one lesson we took from that. But that's the only error that we made. In when we bought the DVC.
And it was buying direct our add-on of, because we built 120.
We did it the other way around, bought resale first and then
added 50 points.
50 points on.
We got tempted when we were out there in 2017, and it was like, oh, the Pandora was opening for him, and you had to be a direct. It's like, oh, okay, we wanted more points anyway. So it's like, when do we add on? Let's just do it. Let's do it now while we're there, and we get to go and see and flight of passage and Navi River journey beforehand.
You get the, and plus, if it's one thing. I know we're going off piece here, really.
not at all.
You get the benefits with the blue card as well. You got to look at the benefits. Are they worth it for you? If they're not worth it for you, you might as well just keep going to resale.
Yeah.
But we get so much out of the discounts, because you get the discounts here in the UK in the Disney store as well. When you shop online, you get the discounts again. So the fact that, you buy Disney stuff, you got the castle, we've got the castle downstairs, we buy stuff as well. You get your discounts on it. It really is worth it. You get your food discounts as well, and we've not done it yet, but you get a DVC cruise, which I'd like to go on at one point.
The member cruise.
The member cruise.
That looks really good.
It's on our list of places and things to do as well.
And Olani.
As is that.
That's right.
See, I don't know, like the magic trick we've got in mind is when obviously the kids are a little bit older, or we're not taking all of them anymore, is fly out to California, do Disneyland for a couple of nights in the California hotel, which you've got on your DVC points. Take a trip over to Olani, spend a few nights at Olani, which you can use your DVC points. Fly back over to Disneyland, do another night or so at Disneyland. Go to Disney World, spend a few nights, and you haven't paid a penny for a hotel. All you've had to buy is your flights, and you spend money on your tickets.
I have to admit, it's helped us budget our trips a lot better. For working with points, because sometimes it's like you're not worrying whether Disney are going to do that offer of free dining, or whether they're going to do a free nights offer. You know what your points are, you know what times of the year or what it is. They might change ever so slightly every year or every other year, but before you bought into DVC, you've done the maths, so you've worked out roughly how many points you want. It's like for our 170 on average, we get between 10 and 12 nights a year.
I think that's what I think you've just highlighted. Something that's coming to my head there, Ben, is you go from an obsessed planner to a super obsessed planner.
This is very true.
Yes, you have all on spreadsheet.
What does the calculator say we can go there? Oh, we've got this, and we can. If we take this amount of points here, we can put the points over here, and we can use the points there. Go, oh, that'll work, and you know,
and
like,
it's
about eating.
We stay at this hotel for so many nights, then we can stay at this hotel, which is a little bit
more
nicer.
Yeah, it's
not
like,
nicer.
it's like we can stay at, I don't know, Saratoga. We do Saratoga in the first week, but then we can go to like Grand Floridian in the second week.
Yeah,
it's you start playing around with things.
You know, you try and imagine you trying to plan that kind of holiday paying cash.
It's impossible.
I'll have to live on beans on toast for the next 2 years so we can do it. You know, just
it's a very different way of looking at a trip, and until we'd looked into it, we didn't know it was even an option.
No, we didn't.
This is the thing: you learn more about DVC once you become a member of DVC than you did beforehand.
Yeah. And it's not that traditional timeshare thing either. I think anyone listening to this conversation, this is where I was put off from the outset, and actually this is where I basically bit my own nose off to spite my face. If you go and listen to Disney people, it's not like those sort of timeshare 3-hour jobs, and we'll give you a free sort of £5 Amazon voucher or whatever.
Yeah. We've done one of those. We got called in one, and it was just no. We wasted 4 hours of our day trying to get $20 back.
Yeah, I have as well, and that perhaps I did that in probably the early 2000s, and I had my parents with us, and it was just the most dullest part of the whole holiday, and it really in my mind it was just that I'm not going to put myself ever willingly through that again. And so I go past the DVC guy, and he's trying to say, "Oh, do you want to go on the DVC tour? You have loads of fast passes, blah blah blah." Nah, you're all right, mate. And actually, having latterly caught up on the actual financial side of it, it's a no-brainer. And it actually, we could have saved thousands.
That's
It's a message, Alison, and let her know that you can save loads of money.
I know. I don't tell her.
You hear them words, timeshare. It is a timeshare, but it's a different type of timeshare. It's not like
completely.
It's not like the ones you get in Costa del Sol, where you've got like a week in an apartment and it's a week for over so many years. It's a point-based system, and it's also linked into RCI, which is another timeshare.
Yeah.
So you're not just limited to Disney. You can get hotels all around the world if you wanted to. You just pay a $90 booking fee. The other ones, you got so much flexibility. When I went through, because I'll be honest with you, we only went to it to get the $50 gift card and the $3. I went for the $50. I went for the
$50 gift card that keeps on costing.
It cost me $30,000 for the $50 gift card. But as soon as he explained what it was and how it worked, I was like, right, this is not a timeshare how I understand the timeshare. Because I said, I am not buying into anything like that. My mother and father bought into one, and while it's worked for them, I'd hate to be stuck to when I'm going on holiday, and where I'm going and what I'm going to be sitting in.
Well, I think that was what I said to you. I think that was the bit that worried me when people say if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah. And
that was the bit you were okay because obviously you understood the math side of it, but I was like, where's the catch? Like I couldn't see where if it was this good, why isn't everybody doing it? And that was the thing that sort of I was waiting for but then you've got to do this or you've got to pay this amount, but it just hasn't happened. It literally is.
I think a lot of it is people are scared of the commitment because it is when you sort of look at it, it's a long sort of thing. Some people might look at it on their once in a lifetime trip and thought, I'm never coming back, or maybe I'll do it once every 5 years. It's not going to work for people that are doing trips every 5 years. It's going to work if you're going every year,
every couple of months,
every other year.
So for me, I'm pretty good with numbers. It flies through me. I know I can get the numbers. I can get where I'm going to make a saving. And this is the thing as well. It is a massive, you're dead spot on there, Ben. It is a massive, massive commitment. You know, you think we bought 200 points. That was $30,000. At the exchange rate at the time, it was £20,000. Now that's just on a holiday. That's just your holiday. So that you go, that's for the next 50 years. So not only am I going to get the benefit of me kids and me grandkids are going to get the benefit of it as well. Yeah. So it was more like an investment into the family and the family holidays going through the generations and being able to use.
It's knowing you've got it for that many years, and it's like, I think ours expires in 2054. I think.
Right.
I'll take your word for it. I didn't go into those details.
So we've got.
I just knew it was 40-odd years.
Yeah, sort of 30-something years
left. Surely the ones that you bought direct, you got 50 years for?
No, direct, because it all depends on where you bought it from. No, we got them from Saratoga.
Ah, right. So because their contract ends, it's a bit like the old Key West, which is the brand new one. So it's either 1942 or 1950, 2042 or 2057.
Yeah.
Because you got the 15 years. And do you know where else is like that? I think the Boulder Ridge is also 2042.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like not long after.
I know there's another resort that's 2042. So you got to be careful when you're looking at and how long you're going to go for as well.
Yeah.
So ours is up in 2066. You know, I'm 11 years off at 100.
Yeah. This is the thing. By the time we worked out when it actually finishes, we're going to be retired by that point. It's like, hopefully.
Yeah. But I think as well that's, and again, I'm looking at this from a completely different perspective, possibly, but that's Disney being pretty clever in respect of where they see the actual longevity of each of these properties being. You know, when you think about where they're actually being built, and you think about some of the things that were put up in the sort of the 70s and 60s at one end of iDrive and down to 192, which are now sort of completely derelict and in need of a lot of TLC. Disney have obviously looked at that and have decided, right, if we build this now, it's possibly got a shelf life of so many years, and they need to future-proof themselves as a company, don't they? Because unfortunately, because of the termites and because of all of the things that happen naturally within Florida, those buildings that they put into Saratoga, they put into Old Key West, are going to need rebuilding at some point along the line. So, you know, it's a clever way of thinking from their perspective, but also, I'll go back and kick myself a bit later on tonight. You know, and I think that's the bit. It's only when you hear people talking about the raw detail of DVC, which I think is where the chat has been absolutely superb here, because once you look into the raw detail of it and you realise, it's a lot of money up front. It's a scary amount of money up front, but it's not in the bigger scheme of things. Once you actually put into practice of how many years worth of holidays you've actually got there, it's, you know, it really does it. It's one of those ones where you think it's a true investment, and a true investment, not just within Disney, but within going to Florida.
And once you stay deluxe, it's very difficult to get back down to Monterey. We did it once. We did it on our last trip, and it's like there's just something missing. Just something. We stayed at Coronado Springs, and it was just something that just didn't feel.
I couldn't quite put our finger on
it, but it wasn't. It wasn't Wilderness Lodge.
I think we'd be the same. Exactly. Yeah, I think we'd really struggle. I think now, like going from the likes of the Poly, likes of Wilderness Lodge, to go back onto iDrive, I just don't.
Yeah. Absolutely no chance, darling. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be a little hooty. The thing that was, if you had to come and say that was, and if you like us and a mere mortal, you don't have a spare 20 grand in your pocket. You're actually only paying that over 10 years anyway. You're paying the debt off for 10 years, and it's gone.
Well, I think we've obviously.
It's only your dues that you've got to pay each year.
Yeah, but I think even looking at the next holiday, we've sort of in Disney money wise, we've got our money back on 2 trips. You know, it's like
it's. I think like I said earlier, our first trip was about I think priced up on Disney's website between 12 and 16 grand.
Exactly. That's
Then when we got to stay at Boardwalk for 7 nights,
which was nice. That was good.
And this year we went, because of COVID, in a way we've got so much more points to spend this year. We're now staying in a 1-bedroom Boardwalk, Daylight Tower, Lakeview, and Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, same as us. I think because that's what exactly we've got the points carried over.
Well, we're
doing the 2.
We've got extra points because we budgeted our points for this year for the 50th to get the 2 lots of 2 beds. You don't get 200 points, won't get you to 2 weeks of the 2 bed. You've got to save your points up for that.
Yeah.
And they turned around and went, right, okay, you can only take 50% of your future use year next year. So we've ended up buying renting another 100 points. And I'm just waiting for Disney to come back and say, yeah, you can have all your points now, 100%. You can pull them off and go, Jesus, I've just paid all that money for them points. You know, I don't care. It's just, it's going to be a great trip, and we really look forward to it.
Hopefully,
yeah.
We started with a couple of Christmas trips because at one, we felt it would be too hot in the summer. But secondly, the kids were that young. It was a case that we thought, well, we're more likely to get a bit more done. And once you've done a Christmas and you're just like, our kids were at an age where Christmas was just truly magical. And it was special, but I think for anybody, it doesn't matter. You could be the grumpiest 90-odd-year-old. I would, you know, and I'm going to be that man at one point. But stood on Main Street watching the Christmas parade, and actually, it's just I dread to think it would bring tears to you. It's just the most amazing thing to be able to watch, and I think as you change your trips and you do the August, I don't actually see there being any time. There's no time that's actually particularly quiet anymore.
No.
Everything's got to the stage where they're busy. So, you know, you choose a time that suits you best, and you know, I like August because I love the fact it's just dead hot. which is just like, that is the one thing I'm really desperate for. You know, after all these months of putting up, I just need the bit of sunshine on me back, and I just want to feel that sort of Floridian air.
Turn on your heating.
Yeah, I've tried that. Then it doesn't work. Doesn't work.
I would frazzle in that heat.
Stephen goes like this colour, the curtains.
Do you know something, Stephen? And I was exactly the same. And I actually, you know, I don't do Spain or Greece or many Mediterranean places in August very well. I tend to be that person who does go to the colour of curtains. However, Florida's different. And it's really, really bizarre to describe, and I wouldn't sort of say that it's, you know, you can't do it. But if I go to Spain or Greece, I would normally have factor 50 to make sure that my nose doesn't end up like sort of beetroot coloured and stuff like that. It's horrible because you end up peeling and all that malarkey. Go to Florida, but it never happens. I don't even put sun cream on. And for anyone listening, that's not a wise move. But in Florida, for some reason, unbeknown to mankind, I don't need to put sun cream.
Is you too busy walking around the park?
You're not sitting in one place.
The only time it is. That's exactly it, Ben.
The only time you get sunburnt is if you're like me and you're at the Poly and you're laying down on the sun lounger and you've got your arm across your chest like that and then you fall asleep.
And then you move your hand.
And you move your hand a couple hours later. It's like, oh, no, what's happened here?
Yeah, the only time we get burnt is when we're sitting around the pool.
Yeah.
It's always the pool. That's it. Doesn't matter how much sunscreen you put on.
I'm with you there, John, on that, the Florida heat. If I go around the Mediterranean countries and in the sun, I'll get sunstroke the first day.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter what I've got on, I'll get sunstroke.
That's so it is an excuse to go to pub for the rest of the holiday.
It is. It's a great excuse to go to the pub for the rest of the day. But there was one year I was in Epcot and I had my vest on. Didn't have no cream on, and we were just walking around. And you know, you walk around and you start off in Mexico. You start off with the Mexican beers and the tequilas, and then you you've nearly threw up in Japan because you've been on sake, and you get bound to drink, and you're absolutely leathered, aren't you, by the time you get there? My shoulders were absolutely red raw. I was red raw. And you know what? I didn't get sunstroke once. It was just, I feel a bit, put a little bit of after sun on there, and I'll be all right.
Just coming to my head with the after sun. Obviously, I have the after sun that I have, and then obviously I have a separate one for these. Forgetting that my after sun was the shimmer glitter one. I put it on Stephen.
Oh,
what absolutely caked him in it.
I'll go to the parks as Ariel.
But those ride photos and your photo pass pictures were something to behold that year. You know, you'd get I can see you now, Stephen. People will be thinking you're auditioning for the Tinkerbell ride down from the castle in Magic Kingdom.
It's just pixie dust.
What the mad thing is, John, put down, I'm going, oh, this is lovely, it's cooling my skin down, lovely this. And she sat on the bed in the hotel, absolutely curled over, and go, what's up with you? I'll tell you in a minute. And I'm just going, what's up with her? She's not there. And she went, look at the bottle. And I went, oh, thanks. Get in the shower quick.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I must have looked really, really pretty. The first time in my life, anyway.
It's just that glimmer. Is that glimmer? Like, you look radiant. You look radiant. Yes.
It's like the glitter they use in like the what was it? Where you get your hair cut in Magic Kingdom.
the pop shop.
Oh, the
Or maybe the property boutique.
Yeah. Either one.
They sprinkle your entire head with all of that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I'd have a problem with that.
I'll tell you what, because I'm gonna move us on, because I've loved the chat about DVC. I've loved the chat about your holidays, but you guys actually made a very early decision. It looks to me to be a conscious decision to vlog, and that's, again, you know, as prolific as I'm not on social media, but to see how you guys have actually decided to put a lot of that stuff up onto YouTube and to start your own YouTube channel, that, you know, tell us about that, because actually you've got so much stuff on there, and there's so much quality video on there that people need to go and have a look at Mickey Scousers' YouTube channel, because it's fantastic. Why did you make that decision? Because I wish I did. Because, you know, even in the past week, I've been thinking, we videoed some early trips and then we ditched video, and I went back to writing as a form of relaying trips, and photography as a way of retelling trips. But you guys have gone in from the video front, and I've got to admit, it would have saved me so many hours. It really would.
I think you say that. It takes a good while to edit them.
Yeah.
I
think, as Stephen obviously said, our channel was originally set up to follow, you know, the likes of certain vloggers. Because we just love Disney, so the channel was purely set up just to watch. And then obviously, as soon as the lockdown hit, we were just going out of our minds. Just obviously because we'd just relocated from Liverpool to Cumbria, so we didn't know anyone, we couldn't go anywhere, we were just sort of like locked in the house, wasn't we? And then it was actually, you just said, like, shall we just do some vlogging, obviously getting ready for the holidays? And I was a lot more reserved. I was like, I don't know whether I can do it. So you started off first, didn't you? Just throw in a few, like the DVC ones,
videos and stuff like that. We just be sat in the corner of the dining room, you know, with the camera up, and you know, and it's weird because we've said on the last trip, shall we try vlogging it? And we go, no, not this time. We'll leave it and stuff like that. And it was just a case of lockdown happened, boredom it.
But you've still got the video there that you can use. You know, that's what I mean. It's not a case of vlog, but it's a case you've actually got the video from past trips that you can actually put on your channel.
Yeah. We put like shorts on from past trips and stuff like that, and seen the parades. And I've actually got another YouTube account, which is a personal one, which I use my watch my videos on. Which I've already uploaded the Epcot fireworks. You know, I think, what's the name of it now? It's
Illuminations.
Yes, that's it. No, not Illuminations.
The one
Epcot Forever.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we've got that on there, and I keep meaning to download it to put.
Oh, you should.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I love.
It's just not the greatest camera work. It's just, you know, a young Scouse lad, you know, walking around with a camera trying to get the best spot to see if we can get the best view of the fireworks. Every time I'm filming it, it was never a case of, oh, this is going to go on YouTube, I'm going to share this one. It was a case of, I want to watch these fireworks when I get home, and that's all it was for. We've got that video. It's like, we started doing like, oh, this is DVC, why do we go to DVC? You know, 5 seasons gone to 7 and stuff like that was the first one, because it was just about what do we talk about, do little stuff like that. And then it was the bacon. We did a few bacon ones. And then we then started doing like the live shows, as you know, on the Wednesday, which we enjoy doing. But obviously the tolls of the lockdown on Sara's meant that we've had to knock that on the head the last few weeks, because Sara's not been coping with the lockdown too well. But she's getting better now, as you can see. You know, I think
it's just, for me personally, I think the lives and the likes of, obviously, you know, meeting all you guys and obviously the other channels, we can just, that for me was like a massive help. And I don't think people realise just how much of a big help that was for people during lockdown. You know, obviously that, like, so we sort of tried to outdo the Wednesdays, and it was just such a good, I say 1 hour turns into 2. You'd always said, like, it's going to be an hour, and it never, because you're all talking about something you absolutely have got passion about.
Yeah, it's the people,
especially if you've got John doing the outro.
Yeah. It's, you know, you never thought for a second when we first put a video up that we'd be meeting a load of people and talking about all the stuff, and then, you know, like me and John do a show on a Sunday with Charlie from the States and Nick from down south. There's 4 lads who'd never met each other before, and we're on a show on a Sunday, and, you know, you're getting to meet other people in the chats and get to know them, and you're going, oh, when are you going? Oh, it's nice to see you over there.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'd love nothing more, like, say, if obviously you're crossing paths with, because obviously we've already said that I think the Karina and Lee from CNL Wondering are going to be there when we're there, hopefully. So it's like, even just, you know, we thought for a drink, and sort of, you see people on a screen. It'd just be nice to have that.
And there's another person I'm looking forward to meeting, and he lives over there now, is Bazza.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Team Park. I like to meet him. He's a character, him. I like him. I've got a lot of time for him. He's brilliant. Makes me laugh. He's got that old school Northern Englishman kind of sense of humour. You know what I mean? Just that. It's great. I love it. But there's other people as well. You know, there's that many people.
There's that many.
It'd be unfair to just name them all. You know, or name it. There's just that many people that we've come into in contact with. And when you asked the question before, who's your favourite vlogger, I went away from that crowd on purpose, because I didn't want to say one or the other, because there's so many that I respect and I like. But so I went away from who we normally interact with and picked one of the big ones, because to pick one of them would have been unfair on the rest of them, because I think they're all great. You know, we got Georgie as well,
Normal Girl
Vlogging as well, who we get on with. There's just so many, and when we set off, we never ever thought, and you think it's not even been 12 months since we put our first one on. So, and the amount of people we've interacted with, you know, when you got the guys from, you know, Saturday night discussions, and you're meeting the people, like, you know, you got
Get
Binky as well, and you've got all them. There's just so many. It's just a great community. I'm glad. The only regret I've got, or we've got, is that we didn't do it when we said we were going to do it about 3 or 4 years ago, because we'd have known these people a lot longer by now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I also think that's perhaps where the last 12 months has actually brought all of us, you know, irrespective of whether you're in the UK or in the US, I think it's brought all of us a whole lot closer together, and actually acknowledge the fact that we all have that, you know, like you said, Stephen, that shared passion for a place. And it doesn't matter if you live in sort of New Hampshire, New York, California, it doesn't matter, because actually if you're in watching someone else's show and you're in the chat, everybody's had the ability to interact and actually to share a little bit of the excitement, their enjoyment of what's been talked about, and that was certainly I think that was certainly our sort of first meeting, from the Great British Mickey Waffle with yourselves, with a whole lot of other people. We still can't believe we're 2 years down the line and we started as a podcast.
That's
And to actually think that we're on Facebook Live or we're on YouTube, I still don't. I come back to this. I still don't think I don't consider myself a creator. I just come on here. I just talk to people because I've missed that chat and I've missed the opportunity. And I can understand, Sarah, where that whole thing where you get that real buzz out of doing it, but actually the down after you come off after having a brilliant night.
Yeah,
it's like like when you were probably not when in my age. But when you go to see a band, and or you go to a rave or something like that, and you big night out on a Friday night, you absolutely come home and you can't sleep. So you end up in my day and age is watching them Hitman and Hair at 3 a.m. and something like that.
John,
I'm not that old, Stephen. I'm not that old. Yeah, you don't get me on that one. Yeah.
Michaela Strachan was on it.
Oh yeah. That was. I think I got into trouble on the May podcast for mentioning Rachel Riley, so I won't go down to Michaela's. I won't go down the line of Michaela Strachan under the show. People will love me down. People will get me banned. I'll get myself banned from YouTube and all that.
Well, I think it was either you or Stephen mentioned it on your Sunday show where you said it's like just being in the pub with your mates.
That's Nick who says
that. So I think you just get that,
it is.
The banter and you just have like an hour or so of just.
It is, and you have that. It's like when we do our Wednesdays live as well. You're not just doing the show. You're going off live, and then you're sitting off when you've gone off live, still talking about the stuff you've just been talking about for over an hour.
Yep.
You could actually go on all night. I think there was one of our Wednesday nights we had CNL Wondering on, and we had Karina Lee on, and we had Georgie on. And I think we finished talking about 1:30 in the morning, and the K-shows as well.
Yeah,
2 o'clock in the morning.
And we both had to
I'd blame the Kerr. That was the Kershaw's fault.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, but I didn't mention them. They're a lovely couple as well.
They are.
Gaz and Ange
are brilliant.
Gaz and Ange are brilliant.
Well, when we did the Saturday night discussions, I think did we start at 2 a.m?
Yeah.
I think it was just the thing is once you stop live, you just carry on.
Talking.
You do. You carry on. You don't know anything else to say because when you come away from this community and you go and talk to people outside the community, you're not getting your Disney talk.
No.
Because people are going, you just look at you in a blank face and go, "What?
Yeah.
Where are you going again?
Yeah.
Why?"
Yeah.
And it's great to talk to people who go, "Oh, when are you back?" And tell us about when you went there, and I went there, and what did you do there? It was great. It's just a great atmosphere. It's great to do.
I think that goes back to something Sarah said really early doors, is the fact that you get that rolled eye look, don't you, when it's you're going there again.
Yeah.
It's just like, I am, because it's my life and I'm in control of my life.
I just love it when it comes from someone who goes to Spain every year. That's like, well, you're going to Spain every year. My choice is Florida.
Go yourself.
I've done the all inclusives in Turkey. They just don't come anywhere close. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice holiday and recuperating. What we tend to do is we'll have obviously the big Disney holiday, the Florida holiday, but then we'll go to a caravan in the UK, and that's our doing nothing, recharge batteries. We're sitting in the caravan all day and we're going to just play games, because we'll go in the middle of winter when it's cheap. So it's like middle of winter, so autumn, so it's cheap. So because I'll be honest with you, to get a caravan in the UK, it can cost you nearly enough as much to get a hotel for a week in Hyde.
It can.
That's true.
So you can get your caravan. That's the ones we go right. That's where we're just going to sit down. We're going to play games with the kids. and we're going to do stuff. We'll have a little walk around the arcade or the holiday park or something like that, and have a recharge. That's what we do.
Go out for dinner every evening so you don't have to worry about cooking. Maybe go for a bit of shopping spree.
Don't talk to me about you going shopping.
Not that bad.
Yeah, I'm with you on everything else, Becca. Yeah.
I remember one of you guys. I was watching. You did the unboxing show as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Stephen and Sara, and it was just like, it's like watching somebody buying something from the States and having it shipped across. It becomes very, very therapeutic, but equally at the same time, it becomes very, very sort of addictive.
Well, that's
as most wafflers actually found out, because it's just like, oh, that's dead easy. That let's have a bit of that.
Because I think in Ben and Becca's video, it's like at the end, thanks to the Mickey Scousers, we was like, it's not our fault.
Until you'd had yours, we didn't know those t-shirts existed.
Yes.
And it's like, well, now I have to buy one.
Yeah.
Get one.
But I haven't shown you the new DVC t-shirts that they've got on shopdisney.com.
They've
got DVC 30th edition.
30 ones we've seen, yeah.
So you end up renting a little slot in a warehouse to call it your address, and you end up getting a VPN subscription so you can say you're in the States while you're shopping.
I think the most dangerous thing is we've got this WDW outlet. They're brilliant, but the thing is, I keep going on every few days saying, what stuff is new? And it's like, no, I shouldn't be doing this. But you did get a Dooney and Burke bag.
I did buy a Dooney and Burke bag from the outlet shop,
which is half price.
It was. With that website, every time you log in and you come back onto it, it says, this was all saved in your basket. And you're like, no,
I don't want to know.
I've been banned from that website.
Have you?
Not by WDW outlet, but by my wife.
Yeah.
It's just like, and the worst thing of all is she's the one who's bought the most stuff from it. I only buy the sort of the little stuff, and they say, "Oh, I like that Spirit jersey. I love that Spirit. I love
that's nice.
I'll have it noted.
I haven't bought any years from there yet.
Not yet.
Spirit jerseys, guys. There's a DVC Spirit jersey out now. Just because I know we were talking about before.
That might actually get me in a Spirit jersey.
Well, it's actually a girl, female and a male's one, isn't it? There's two.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. That might get me in a Spirit
can
jersey.
See that. What's that? I'd love to know what it says on the back. I own DVC.
And the rest of you are mere mortals.
Saying about that, there's an Ursula t-shirt floating about the DV. Obviously, it's not hasn't been made by Disney, but someone's made it, and it says, "You don't own DVC," and then Ursula at the bottom saying, "You poor unfortunate soul."
I love that.
I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have a look on their website because we're gonna want to get some stuff for our cruise.
Yes.
Ooh, when you go on a cruise.
Now Ben and Becca are booked for a cruise, aren't you guys? That's This is gonna be the first show that we're going to release that Ben and Becca can actually say they're going on a cruise.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
Oh,
and so are Peter and Jill. I'll add that. Yeah, Peter and Jill are going on a cruise.
I just am in shock a little bit, sort of thinking, oh no, because we set a budget last week. I thought, let's see if it gets anywhere near it. And the first price was like, no, I think we're going to have to say no to it. But a bit of flexible holiday changing. And we're now in, when are we going? 14th of September for 3 nights from Tilbury. So they call it London, but it's more Essex.
It's Essex. But, were you tempted to book one of the UK cruises?
Yes, we've been from Liverpool and just moving up over the last couple of years. We would regularly take our kids down to the docks when they'd come in, because they do the movies under the stars and just project the film onto one of the buildings off the Liverpool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we do like a little fireworks show overnight as well. So it's something we've always gone, I wouldn't mind doing that. That looks good.
Well, when I seen the pictures get released, I was just like, oh, but obviously because we're going hopefully September, and then we've got DLP booked for Christmas and New Year. it was like
gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one.
Dates and whatnot.
Sarah thought that one through. We're going the day after Boxing Day, coming back on the 2nd of January, and I said to her, you need to get an annual pass to do more than 2 days, because otherwise it costs more than the annual pass.
Yeah.
I said, you do know you've got to get the top annual pass when you go to that day, because it's a blockout day.
Yeah.
The blockout days all the way through. I went, cheers for that, thank you. But that's something else we're looking forward to as well. He's doing that between Christmas and New Year at DLP.
Well, I think that's obviously what John said before about, because we can't get to Walt Disney World for Christmas. I thought, well, let's try and do for Christmas. Yeah, and obviously to be there for New Year, I think will be amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Do you know something, Sarah? That is such a great way of actually getting the best of both. Because if September happens, and I think it will.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I think there is a real surge of optimism. Yeah. You know, I know Claire on our is one of our wafflers who is probably going to be our
first.
She's going to be the guinea pig.
She's the guinea pig, isn't she? And I can see
you know,
she's going in July. And I think
she'll be there for
I think she's food and wine. I really think she's going to be able to do it, and I think once we get that over that hurdle, and once we get over that real sort of barrier that seems to have been created, and we get, you know, I want to be able to be outside and watch an airline in the sky. I've not seen an aircraft, and it's such a bizarre feeling. I want to see and hear it again. Yeah. I've missed it so much.
Come down this way, because where I work is over a flight path for.
Do you know something, Becca? I would love that.
So we get them going overhead all the time.
Yeah, because normally when I don't live anywhere near an airport, but what I do get is usually we're on sort of the transatlantic sort of flight path from Frankfurt and Amsterdam, and then also sort of if you've been sort of routed up the eastern coast of the UK before you get to go across the Atlantic, and it's just like I love it. You know, I love just watching the fact that people are going and doing stuff, and when the skies are silent, and it's just like there's nothing there, and we all live in hope that these holidays that are planned. You know, and your September trip just sounds as if you guys are just going to go and have an absolute ball. You really are, because it's just like to be able to go and be sort of, I don't know, it's just that you're going to vlog the lot and you're going to put it all on there, and we're going to just sort of watch it and just go, oh, this is fantastic.
Oh, definitely. I've got a couple of videos in mind, a couple of funny ones as well. I've got a pact with me mother-in-law. If you go on the teacups with me, if I go on the small world, I said fine, we'll do it.
Oh wow. Now, see, I'll do small world. I bloody hate the teacups.
I love the teacups.
I'd rather go in small world than the teacups.
In 2019,
if you like.
In 2019, I got our Lennon on the teacups with me. And I got it spinning so fast. And Darren's another one. And our Lennon's boy's plastered to the back of the cup. And he gets up, out and he falls over. Well, parents of the year are sitting there giggling.
It was the funniest stuff I could see it.
If you get round to going to Universal, the Universal version of the teacups is the X-Men Storm Accelerator. It is a lot faster than the ones at Disney and a lot more spinny.
Right.
Oh,
I don't like
so do that one. It's so much fun.
I don't do spinning.
You don't do spinning. You nearly fell over when we got off of that one.
Yeah. It'd be the greatest short of all time.
Face on the floor.
I'll have the camera.
Maybe actually that would be the better short if me falling over with the camera.
You've got your phone.
Yeah.
I'm just reimagining Epcot here. could you imagine the Imagination Pavilion with a ride just went round and round? So you do drinking around the world, and then you finish there, and you go round and round. And round.
John,
just saying.
John, it wouldn't need to spin very much.
You'd have a stropper right round the side of it. You're not making the toilet.
It's a bit like Mission Space where they give you a sick bag.
But you know what? It's actually not a bad idea, that, John, because if you'd done that, right, you'd sort yourself up for another trip around the world, wouldn't you?
You'll never leave.
Stephen, you couldn't afford it. You couldn't afford it. It's like, it costs that much to drink around the world. Yeah. You need to have that morning after, and afternoon after, and evening after effect, just to say it was worth the money.
I'm calling on you, John, here, because I'm going back a few years here. Like, there was a kids' show. What was it called? The Magic Roundabout.
Oh, yes.
That's what it'd be like. It'd be like the Magic Roundabout round the world. On there, throw up, back right round the world. Up there, throw up. You'd never get off. It'd be like the mixture of the Magic World and the Twilight Zone all coming into one.
Do you know, so the Magic Roundabout probably was the Twilight Zone. And we just didn't know it at the time. I'd love to know what planet Dougal was on.
I know, yeah. I just remember watching it as a kid.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. Do you know something? That has just been the most fantastic chat. And I'm just aware that it's got to the time where we can end up with like a 3-hour show. And not only does that makes for more editing for Ben, but also it's a bank holiday weekend for you guys. But I just think that has been fantastic. And do you know something? The DVC chat in there tonight has been absolutely brilliant. Sara, Stephen, do you know something? Thank you so much for joining us. It has been amazing to chat. And I know that our listeners will want to follow you, but they'll also want to enjoy the content that you produce on social media, YouTube particularly. Can I also point out, I loved your Mickey Scouse Clubhouse show. We all want to know when it's coming back. I hope it's soon. But go on, shameless plug time.
It is. It's been off air for a couple of months due to lockdown and homeschooling. But everything's starting to settle down now, and we have every intention of getting back on a Wednesday night, don't we? 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. It's coming soon. I'm not going to give you the date so you can keep holding on and anticipate what's coming on.
Little
cliffhanger, yeah. Whether you care or not, I don't know. It's not exactly Line of Duty cliffhanger, is it? We love that show.
Oh.
We set that show up in its new format, I think about 3 weeks before everything just crashed again on us and the world turned upside down. And we thought the new format was working really, really well. So we're going to stick with that new format. And hopefully have some guests lined up soon so we can start getting live and start doing that show again, because do you know what, guys, it's the same as what you're doing on your show here. You can get your other people in the Disney community on, you can chat with them, get to know them, you'll chat with them in social media, so on Twitter you'll be chatting with them anyway, but you've never actually spoke to them face to face. And you know what, when you get to do that face to face with the other people in the community, it just brings that extra dimension to being part of the family, and it's a family, isn't it? At the end of the day, we all love the same thing. We can all chat. I mean, we could have. I think on this one, we could have sat here for another 4 hours. Yeah. John for 3 hours and 3.5 hours, and the rest of us. But no, honestly, thanks for having us on. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've been dying to come on your show, your podcast, or even if it's the one on the Wednesday, we'd love to do that as well if it's ever open, the invitation.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we just love you guys. We love your show, and you bring so much, and it's the content as well. You always bring a decent content on, and that's something with the Mickey Scouse Clubhouse. With there's only being the two of us, we can't do it every week because we'd rather have the quality there rather than the quantity, if you know what I mean. It's like we want to give someone and give the way we see it is give something back to the community that give us so much. So we'd like to give them quality back rather than just a load of well, we're just talking about anything just to make up a show and to fill up time. We'd rather have a good, solid conversation with someone and the other little bits that we like to throw in the show.
It's a nice addiction to have.
It is, yeah.
It's true.
It certainly is. Certainly is. Can I also say, on behalf of everyone at Great British Mickey Waffle, we really appreciate all your comments now on every single chat on YouTube for all of our live stuff. It really is appreciated. I know you guys have been watching us from whenever we started doing all of this, and it's a shared thing, and it's been a delight to actually get you onto the show and to be able to share that whole thing about, we all want to get back to Florida, and I think, I look forward to watching all of your content that is to come. I also look forward to getting back into the Mickey Scouse Clubhouse as well. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast. And as always, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at GB Mickey Waffle, and our YouTube channel, which is the Great British Mickey Waffle. And if you want to email us and get in touch and maybe ask us, get in touch with us, tell us why you want to be on the show. We're at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com, and gbmickeywaffle.com is our website where you can it's a one-stop shop now, because Ben's done such a fab job at actually bringing it all together. And if you click on that, you can actually click onto any show that we've recorded. He's dead good at this. He really is. I've got to say, it just blows my mind every time I get it. So if you listen to this and you've missed loads of stuff before, go back and have a look, because it's all there. Please make sure you join us for all of our monthly madness for our next Friday show, which is on Friday, the 21st of May, which is next Friday. Can you also remember we are every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. just before Stephen and Sarah, when they relaunched the Mickey Scouse Clubhouse, because they're on at 9 and we need to finish at 9.
We're going to need to start.
Yeah. I'm gonna have an electric shock sort of thing to shut me up on a Wednesday. Yeah. But Ben and Becca, thank you so much for tonight as well, because it's been, do you know something? This has been such a nice chat that, like Stephen said, we could still be here for about 4 or 5 hours and just sharing that Disney chat. I'm off to go and buy DVC.
Good. That time.
Yeah, it is about time, yeah.
But if you've missed anything, I'll be that guy who's just sort of walking towards the band saying, free fast pass tickets, come for the DVC tour. It makes sense. Anyway, thank you for listening. We've only one thing to say. Until the next time, waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on. Bye.